Hey beautiful beings, welcome back to our YouTube channel. So happy to be with you today, and also wanting to share something really special with you right now. Here we are beginning the one and only unique, amazing pranic lifestyle process. We are here in the morning and just about to begin our day and our coaching session. So I wanted to give you guys an personal insight into what goes on in the process, into the type of energy that we create, the type of community that we are, so that you can get a feel for what this work of breatharianism that Akahi and I are sharing with the world. So I'm about to go live with our group of over 70 participants who are all over the world, joining us from their homes. And the amazing thing about the pranic lifestyle process is that we have created such an accessible way to enjoy these breathwork techniques and integrate them really wherever you are in the world. So join me now so you can meet the group, you can be here with us in our coaching session and get a feel for what goes on here in the pranic lifestyle process. Come on, guys. Good morning, beauties. Welcome back here to our amazing pranic lifestyle process. We are here together for a beautiful, fantastic day. I'm reading you here and so happy to be with you again. Margareta, Alana, Asa, Marianne, Ilse, Janet, Jenny, Anna, oh, so good. And hi, Audrey. All of you beauties who are here with us. Hello, Ariel. Great to see you and be with you. I'm so happy to be here for this amazing new day of our process together. And this morning, Akahi is going to be with our group here in person over in Guerneville, Sonoma County. Everybody has arrived and is so happy also to be here experiencing the same that you are, and I can't wait for you all to meet, to be together. Oh, so good. Hello, Yvonne and Susan and Karen. So great to be again together. Today we have a new fantastic day. Yes, today is the day where we begin to explore a bit the liquid light. As we, in this second day of the process, start to experience a lighter source of nourishment in our bodies. And of course, this reflects into the other areas of our subtle perception of energy. We are, as we lighten what we receive and put into our physical body, we become much more perceptive to the subtle and quiet energies around us. This contributes to us understanding really that everything that we interact with is nourishment, bringing us into a much more aligned and subtle state so that we can perceive what is in line and good and healthy for us, and maybe what we can avoid. So I'm excited for you to experience this day of the liquid light. Of course, drinking lots of juices, hydrating the body really well, as tomorrow, on the third day, we will go into our, of course, optional dry fast. So today we want to make sure that we are hydrating the body, the cells, and giving it just lots of liquid so that in the next days to come, it has plenty to work with. So how are you guys feeling today in this awesome day? I'm so happy to be here with you and to share the awesome sessions that we have together this morning. Hello, Kira. Yes. So let me know here in the chat how your night was, how your rest was, as we begin to tap into this healing energy, this potent, pure life energy that we are beginning to decipher and understand through the breath. We begin to really understand that our healing is already happening. Yes, We are here and starting to tap into, decipher the different layers of our being as well. And sometimes, different things can start to show up in our dreams, or we can have maybe a sporadic emotional release, and all of these things are very normal. This is part of the process, because as we begin to connect to this subtle energy and let it dissolve and work through those sort of denser, maybe energy blockages or type of information that we've been holding on to, maybe in a contracted way of the being, the way for those things to come out is sometimes that they express themselves on their way out. Emotions that have been deeply held inside of us for a long time, finally we've found the root of them, and they are starting to release. And so we might feel that emotion a bit, but it's different than, maybe before, when you would think about a memory that brought that emotion to you, or some sort of experience that caused that emotion in you. This is a way of you feeling that emotion because it is leaving you. And so in the process here, just know that that's what's happening. If you have some sort of emotional release, or some sort of memory comes up to you, it's because that's ready to leave you. Yeah? So trust in the process, trust in your intelligence. And yes, I see that, Angela, you did experience some emotional release from seemingly out of nowhere. Yes, and absolutely normal, beauty. Katrina, we are also so happy to have you here. Kira, you felt great, had a flying dream and a lot of cleansing dreams. You dreamt about your first boyfriend all night. Oh, yes, definitely. We can begin to see just how extended our consciousness is, how we can access these different parts of our lives and even bring them into the present in a way to experience, observe, understand them. So beautiful, I hope that was a pleasant experience for you. You put an LOL, so maybe it was. Oh, wonderful. Kira saying, I am literally so happy to be here. I'm in tears. Yes, and truly, I am also so happy that you are here. And also the whole universe is just rejoicing that each one of you have taken this beautiful step to connect to your true, authentic essence, that beautiful being inside of yourself, and maybe for whatever reason, experiences of this lifetime, patterns of your generations, maybe has been not able to express its true self and all its glory. And so here we are beginning to accept and love ourselves. And this is just the beginning, guys. We are just getting started, and we have, wow, really so much yet to explore. Yeah, so also so happy that each one of you are here. Marianne, you said you felt somewhat weak and a light headache. Yes, this is also very normal. As we really delve into the subconscious, and yesterday we were working with the different aspects of the being, the mind, the emotions, the physical body, as well as the energy body. And so if there is any sort of blockage or aspect that needs to be released from any of these parts of the being, it can also be sort of show up in like slight detox symptoms, like a headache or a little bit of weakness. But this is also just a sign of your body letting you know that it's time to rest a bit. our whole lives we have been doing so much, right? I'm sure that each one of you is a busy person. You have been experiencing lots of things in your lifetime. Beautiful, amazing things. And I'm sure you've also been through your challenges, like every human being, like myself too. And if we can envision ourselves kind of like a train, our life, we are moving along and we get on a track and we kind of begin to pick up velocity, and we are on that path and we just keep going and things, life is going and happening, and it seems sometimes like faster and faster, and during that journey, we are also acquiring passengers, passengers on our train that are like certain kinds of thoughts, emotions, memories of experiences and things that have happened. In some cases, traumas. There are also, of course, lots of passengers there that are bringing happiness, of good experiences and pleasant emotions. But there's a whole combination of passengers on your train. And this is normal for every human being, in the society that we live in. Life is very fast-paced. And so right now, during these 8 days, we are having the possibility to finally stop the train, to put the brakes on, and to open the doors so that those passengers who are just occupying space, maybe not contributing to the optimum functioning of your train, we can give them now the opportunity to exit, to get off of the train. And we have this conscious opportunity to choose who and what we want to stay in our vehicle, what types of thoughts we want to have, what type of emotions we want to feel, really what kind of life we want to live. And we get to choose also, and see really what are those things that are maybe not allowing us to express and to be in our full state of life and beauty and potential. And so as you stop the train, you are actually in this sort of resting place. And it's so important. I think many of us don't give ourselves the opportunity to just rest, to let the body rejuvenate, to let the mind also refresh, to let the heart also, heal and feel love and feel joy. So that's what we're doing here. And so those signs like, a little bit of weakness or headache, those are signs of your body letting you know that, okay, yeah, I am ready to rest. And so I hope that you will take the opportunity in these days to give yourself some rest, some quietness, and definitely, respecting the signs and the communication of your body, because this is also a very big part of this beautiful pranic lifestyle process, is that we begin to create a new relationship with the body. We begin to create a new connection that is integral with our mind, our emotions, our physical body, our energy body. And this is an incredible opportunity. So let's take the time to rest, to really let the sessions and this new relationship that you are creating with yourself deepen and strengthen, to work within you, to create your healing and to bring you back to that beautiful, innocent, joyful nature that is your birthright. Yes. Audrey, you say that it went very deep during yesterday's session. Maybe the first session felt like a good clearing. The breathing during the second session was very easy for me, noticing a great integration of this work. Wonderful. Deepening my evolution of consciousness. Dreamed, yet I did not wake up disturbed by them. Thoughts are distant and not sticking. Amazing. Yes, you can see how easy these practices integrate into your life, you know, because they are not backed by complicated theory or dogma. You know, this is all about exploring that innate potential of this mechanism of the breath and allowing that to just take flight within you. And because it is so natural, because we are using something that is so natural to us, the breath, as our conduit for healing, we can really see just how easy this is to adapt to our lives, wherever we are, whatever we're doing. And so beautiful that you felt like the thoughts are just thoughts. You know, they're not sticking to you and becoming emotions and becoming physical sensations. You are seeing that they are just thoughts. And when you have that capacity, you can choose, okay, is that a healthy thought? Or can I just let that thought go and choose to focus on something else? And this is part of that taking back the control of our lives. Beauty, Margareta, feeling connected to you and to the group, and it helps to maintain the process. Thank you all, and you're feeling great. Ah, wonderful. Yes, we are here, becoming family. This is such an intimate and beautiful experience, a unique time that we are sharing together. So absolutely, it definitely strengthens, you know, the process and everything that we are learning and practicing here. Margareta, you're feeling excellent. Oh, that's wonderful. Since I am in Europe, I'm going to sleep after this session. So what do you suggest? Should I be on juices from tomorrow? And also, I was on juices today as well. Somehow I go up front. Or is it better to go one day after you? I understand. I think you are really ahead of us in time. And so, yeah, after the sessions, it's bedtime for you. I think that it really depends on how you're feeling. If you want to, you know, experience the sessions and then wake up the next day and practice the diet that we did in the previous day, that would be okay. That would be totally fine. It would also mean that maybe you finish like a day after us, which is no problem. But you could also, you know, take advantage of the whole day that you have before we begin the sessions and practice the diet in that day, you know. So like you already did juices today, so that's perfect when you wake up in the morning tomorrow. And if you are choosing to do the dry fast, then you can begin when you wake up in the morning. So by the time the sessions have come, you have already been experiencing the dry fast of the day, and you're kind of like in the same schedule as the process. So it's totally up to you, how you feel the most comfortable, how you feel you can get the most out of the process. So I'll leave the decision up to you. It doesn't affect the process either way. Whatever you decide is going to be perfect. Herbal teas are absolutely fine to have today. Yes, today is a day of juicing, a day of experiencing the liquid. So herbal teas, water, and juices. Earlier I saw that there was a question from Alana about, is there a reason we only do no more than 2 fruits in our juices? And yes, we do this because in the everyday life, we are often very stimulated, right? By our experiences, our surroundings, what's happening in the life around around us, you know, in the world, in the society, we are being very stimulated. And the same goes for what most people put in their body. Most people are kind of dumbing down the senses because we are creating lots of combinations, lots of spices or salt or lots of ingredients, yeah? And so this can kind of make us less perceptive, a little bit less subtle. So as we begin in this day, you know, to lighten the diet and be in the juices, we get to experience that real, the flavor and that real awakening of the senses. What happens is that we are starting to let the senses come back to life. All of that stimulation has kind of made them be like, whoa, a little bit chaos, and then sometimes even not be able to taste or smell or hear, see, you know, as sharply as we could. And so as we are experiencing the liquids today, we do two fruits maximum, so that we can really just feel the subtleness of each flavor. We can start to find that pleasure in simplicity. Especially when, you know, people are into healthy diets and supplements. We're putting like a lot of superfoods and powders and all sorts of things in our juices to make them super powerful and potent. But here we're going to give our body the opportunity to just focus on one or two flavors and let the senses start to awaken and enliven, to enjoy the fragrance, to really enjoy and feel the taste, the texture of that specific fruit or those two fruits. Alana is a challenge. Yeah, definitely. You know, that's why, because we are usually so stimulated. But yeah, of course, just do your best and let your body guide you. We recommend this, but of course you are free to adapt the process to what feels the best for you. But sometimes this is like a really gentle challenge, we could say, to give the body a lighter, less stimulated physical nourishment. And can be fun as well. It can be super fun and interesting to see what we learn there. Also in our mind, you know, what comes up for us when we are giving our bodies this type of stimulation or this type of physical nourishment that is lighter, that is much more simple. Sometimes the mind will challenge that, or sometimes the emotions will challenge that. And so that's an interesting thing to observe as we begin to decipher hunger, right? Because oftentimes the body is so used to being stimulated all the time, and it's not just from adulthood. It begins when we are born. You know, when you are a baby and you cried, whoever was caring for you always looked for a way to get you to stop crying, to make you feel happy, you know. So they check your diaper, make sure that you're clean, and then the next thing is, okay, hungry. You know, the baby's hungry, the baby needs something. And so that's when this sort of real emotional attachment to the food starts to happen, because most babies, when they cry, are met with some sort of oral stimulation, whether it be on the breast or the bottle or a pacifier. But we learn there that when we have a certain type of emotion, that we can sort of counter that emotion by ingesting something. Yeah? So this habit sort of picks up and gains speed gains momentum as we grow. And when you're a child, you know, and you feel maybe upset or something like that, a little bit out of alignment, also this habit continues of searching for some sort of oral stimulation or ingestion to feel like okay again. And so oftentimes that gets carried into adulthood. And so what we often experience as hunger is not in fact a physical type of hunger or necessity, but more like an emotional need, an emotional hunger. And so how do we start to break that habit and decipher the hunger is through this, and through this amazing process that is taking into consideration all of those deeply ingrained human habits. And so this is why, you know, in this day, we choose to just maximum juice 2 fruits or 2 veggies together, so that we can start to really observe ourselves, be the observer of our mind, our emotions. And when maybe you notice, as we are here in this healing journey too, an emotion comes up, notice there, if you start to feel like a certain memory appear or a certain emotion, do you also then feel hungry? Does your body tell you like, I need to eat something? Start to observe that, because this is the deciphering and the breaking down of hunger. So this is how we also sort of lessen our necessities, because as we begin to give our mind the nourishment that it needs, and our heart and our emotions the nourishment that they need, then the physical body also responds. And it will give you those signs of hunger when, you know, it's really necessary, when your body really wants to be nourished. And that's beautiful. Of course, this is amazing to have this tool of the physical nourishment to nourish our bodies. And at the same time, we get to start to understand how much of what we thought was hunger or emotion, how much of what we thought was actual physical hunger is actually just an emotional craving for oftentimes love or happiness. And so here, through the breath, we are actually learning to nourish ourselves in a much more subtle, gentle way. This doesn't mean that we will never experience hunger again, you know, because as I'm saying, here we get to start to see that maybe what we thought was 100% hunger was actually just probably about 30%. And the rest was just your being needing some love, needing some energetic nourishment, some sort of stimulation for heart or mind. So we are already on the path to overcoming that emotional hunger, filling the void. And we're doing this through the breath. Concha says, this will be good for me today. Sundays, I always get a craving for something sweet and I go crazy. So this will be a good challenge for me. Looking forward to it. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, and sometimes it's because maybe we have such good memories. Like on a Sunday, maybe when you were a child, you have good memories of like going to get an ice cream with your family or something like that. And those things are also really beautiful, you know? I'm more talking about like those maybe what we can perceive as negative emotions, like sadness or guilt or shame, you know, all of those. And those memories that are associated with those feelings. Usually the memories or thoughts that are associated with those types of feelings are not so happy memories, right? And so more about those types of feelings and sensations that can provoke hunger is what we're going to start to let go of. Yeah. Should the juice be run through a juicer, or is it okay with a mixer? Either is fine, beauty. Yeah, if you're gonna do it like in a mixer or a blender, you can then sift out the pulp so that you just get the nice juice with that. Audrey, I am here to reprogram the mind, to go beyond the limiting thoughts that my body needs anything to survive, to find nourishment in the light and love, to be in the experience of truth and not what I was told by society, education, etc. Beautiful. Yes. Amazing. Marianne, this is very true. I realized today that my fear of having nothing to eat is fear from my mother because she has suffered hunger in the war. I was born in 1946. Yes, yes. And actually, this is really interesting what you bring up. You know, we have traveled all around the world to many countries, sharing this process and our breathwork techniques, and it is incredible. In Europe, in certain parts of Europe, like specifically, we noticed it a lot, like in Germany, Netherlands, France, Poland, that oftentimes our participants are dealing with this same thing, Marianne. This generational trauma patterning that has, you know, been passed on to the next generation. But those feelings and experiences around war and upheaval. So it is very interesting to see how in the world there are specific parts that collectively people experience very similar types of patterning that can be reprogrammed. But this specifically, what you share, Marianne, is something that I have heard from actually a lot of people of your generation. And it's amazing and totally possible to heal. Kira, that's a good question, Beauty. Are you both still completely off of food? We are so totally flexible. Yeah, you know, we did live for 3 full years without chewing, without eating anything in that way. Just enjoying liquids, you know, sporadically also not super connected to the physical nourishment. But, you know, now we are a family. We are 9 years into being a family with young children, growing children. And so we feel that flexibility is the key to all of this. Yeah, we are very unattached to food, and at the same time we have children to care for, you know, and our intention with them is not to train them to be a certain way or to be a breatharian. Never ever has that been our intention. You know, to be breatharian in the terms that most people think of not eating. Yeah, so that has not been their reality at all. And as such, they have taught us to be flexible, to enjoy with them, you know, those beautiful moments of family and connection and nourishment in a beautiful, in a grateful, in a joyful way. And so, yeah, sometimes we eat something, and most of the time we juice. Yeah, we are very unattached to the food, but it is, yeah, a part of our reality. For me as a mother, every day I am preparing the food of my children, and I select the best ingredients. You know, I like to choose organic produce. I also have a garden, and so what I can, I grow in my garden. And I want to be an example for my children of real balanced health, you know, a type of stability that they see in me, that I am totally content, happy with myself, healthy. I know what my body thrives with, and that can be, you know, an example for them to also discover that in themselves. So, you know, every day I am interacting with food, preparing it, serving it, but I get to choose, you know, if I feel to enjoy something, if I feel to not. It's total flexibility there. Because as you know and you're seeing, this is not about limiting ourselves to not eating. Breatharianism is not about getting into a even smaller dietary box, you know. Breatharianism, in the way that we are redefining it, is breaking out of the boxes and the labels and the limitations that come along with them, and discovering true freedom inside of ourselves, a freedom that is free of judgment and guilt and shame. Because to be honest, you know, in many of the communities of health conscious people, there is a lot of judgment. Yeah, and that judgment can be damaging to a person, you know, because maybe you want to be a vegan, or you want to be a fruitarian, you want to be a liquidarian, but someday you are in some sort of social encounter, or you're with your family, or just by yourself, and you feel like, oh, I feel to eat this thing, you know, that maybe isn't inside of that strict dietary box. And everything around just that thought of desire creates guilt and shame and this sort of inner conflict that is totally unnecessary. So this is truly about connecting to this abundant, infinite source of energy that exists within, all around us, and that we are breathing every single moment of our lives. And from there, from that state of such satisfaction, we get to choose how we want to enjoy our life. So I want to encourage you all also to connect to that freedom, that just joy and pleasure. We have these beautiful senses to be able to explore and interact with life. So here we are taking this step to enter into freedom, into a state of non-attachment to the physicality so much, but strengthening our spirit, strengthening our mind, our emotions, and our physical body, so that we can truly be in our optimum state. And in the optimum state, you know, we are free, we are happy, we are full of love. And from that state, anything that we choose to interact with, be it food, be it a person, be it an experience, a project, an idea, anything, that right there will be nourishment for us and will be a beautiful experience, because we are eliminating the fear, the judgment, the guilt, all of that, and just giving ourselves permission to live our lives happily. I think that sounds pretty good, huh? Oh, yes, Margareta, you agree. Amazing. And Per Anders says, feels good to not have cravings at all any longer. Amazing, beauty, yeah. When we begin to satisfy ourselves in other ways, oftentimes what we were craving, you know, we already are having that. We already get that in a more subtle, a more gentle way. So then when we go to enjoy something like food, we don't do it out of like necessity or scarcity or like an anxious type of energy. We do it just enjoying, blissful, smelling, you know, engaging all the senses, looking at the colors, the beauty, feeling the texture, the taste. And that is a totally new experience. So beauty, my loves. So Before we begin our session this morning, I wanted to actually share with you just a part of the scientific studies that were done on these breathing techniques, so that some of you were asking about that, and I want to share it with you now, so that as we begin the process and we go into these techniques and sessions, you can really see what's happening in your own being. Because yes, these tests were done on Akahi, but the sessions are what we are sharing with you. And so if he achieved these states in these studies, then you are also going to achieve these states through these techniques and practices. So I want to share this video. It's going to be about 10 minutes, and it's just going to describe a bit of the scientific studies that were done on these techniques, okay? After that, we're going to go into our first breathing session of today. How does that sound, my loves? Halana, you said, oh gosh, before I did the process the last time, that was my life, that anxiety around food. Yes. And to be honest, I think you are not alone in that. I think that the majority of human beings experience that, That's why now exist these tools to be able to bring humanity into another state, That's, I think, how humanity works, is that collectively, each one of us makes a part of the collective. And so as we all begin to kind of awaken and shed maybe old belief systems and patterns, leave those behind, we really pave the way for a rebirth, a collective rebirth. And that's what's happening right now. And you're all a part of that, and it's so beautiful. Oh, amazing. Oh, Kira, it's my pleasure. I am here to be totally truthful, honest, and I guess an example to you of what you too can experience in your life. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for also witnessing and being here, seeing that. Okay, my love. So I'm going to put on the video here so that we can enjoy it. We can see it together. Let me just load it up. Here it is. Put it on here. Okay, so I want to actually begin it. Yeah, there we go. All right, here we go, guys. There we go. I'm going to begin it from a certain part because we are not going to watch the whole thing. It's kind of a long video. Okay, let me see. Okay.
you've got nerves. These are nerve cells. They look like this, and they connected to a whole lot of other nerve cells. Yeah, there's a whole network of these things. Well, when they are getting um, the the microvolts from the other nerve cells, when it starts to fire, it goes with electricity. Then this nerve cell will gather this electricity and bring it to the following one. But there's a kind of a there's a long sheath there that's called an axon, and the electricity is guided there and jumps over these parts which are actually shielded with other cells, and then it goes to the synapse. This is called the synapse.
So my loves, thank you so much for joining us. We are going to continue here in the process, and I want to extend the invitation. If you felt that any of what I was sharing was resonating with you, this is just the beginning of the process, so you can still jump on and join us. We are here just about to begin with the first session of today, and yes, you are so welcome, and we would love to be able to share this life-changing, life-lasting experience with you. So you can see the link down below. You can register there. When you do, you'll get all the amazing bonuses, lifetime access to our video courses, and also your seat here in the live online event. We would love to have you here. As you can see, this is so profound. We are delving into really deep states of our experience, of our lives, and healing from the root, so that we can become true breatharians, people who are satisfied from the energy of life, people whose voids have been filled. Yes, here, experiencing breatharianism firsthand with us, Akahi and Camila. We have been 11 years in the pranic lifestyle, sharing these techniques all around the world. And we would love to be able to share this with you as well, to inspire your healing and your thriving in life. Thank you so much for joining me here. We'll see you soon. We're going to start our session now. And I can share that with you right here on YouTube. So if you want to experience the sessions firsthand, make sure to join through the link below. Thank you for joining here, beauties.
Is that you're making a better combination between the slow and the fast.
Okay, just looking for how to stop the video.